Welcome back to another episode of TikTok Famous Podcast. Today I have Joshua Kusnick, former MLB. Oh, something just happened. Former MLB truth teller with over 55 million TikTok videos, views, and a reputation for being completely uncancelable. He's got a book coming, a comedy tour on deck, and zero fear when it comes to saying what everyone else won't. And we also have Sarah, a former Alzheimer's dementia specialist and mental health worker who once worked in Hollywood's makeup world. A film and TV production grad, she now runs her own venture in the cruise industry and co-hosts their new podcast, Damage Control, which I've listened to, and it's excellent. She brings empathy, insight, and lived experience everywhere she goes, so stay with us.
You're listening to the TikTok Famous Podcast, where viral fame meets raw reality. Join your host, Meredith Willits, as she dives deep with your favorite creators to uncover the real stories behind the scroll, the highs, the lows, the algorithm chaos, and everything in between. This is not your average interview. This is the TikTok Famous Podcast.
Right in the middle of me talking, I got this crazy pop-up. Sorry about that. Thank you both so much for being here. Joshua, you're one of my absolute favorite creators on TikTok. And Sarah, I'm so excited to meet the voice behind Damage Control. Thank you so much both for being here.
Well, of course. Thank you for having us.
Oh, and now Joshua is just going to give me a thumbs up after he's mouth of the South over on TikTok. Come on,
you're not doing it. He can't speak now.
I know, right?
I'm fairly reserved out of character. It's funny.
He's like, I'm demure. I'm being very demure, very mindful.
But I ask her. I go quiet. I'm very method when I'm on stage. So
When do you go quiet?
What are we talking about? I'm super introspective.
I had to take you to a movie theater to make you quiet, and then you still talk.
No, I talk. I didn't talk during Wicked.
Yes, you did.
She's like, absolutely not. Well, the one thing that there's a few creators that I have been so drawn to because they kind of embody all the things that I aspire to be, which is like just voraciously fearless or courageous. I'm not sure which. And the best way I can say is you just come off as like, I don't give a shit, uncancelable. I'm saying all the things. And I mean, even you've turned my head towards so many people that I'm like, oh, I never saw this in Bill Burr and Amy Schumer and Aaron Parnas and all of these people that are out in the world. Like, you go after literally anyone. You give, I don't know if it's you give zero shits or you're just like, I don't know what it is, but you're just, what is that? Where is that gene that I'm missing?
I have an aversion to people lying with anything. It's like a hypersensitivity, probably because of how I grew up, and it's obsessive. I've always had this streak in me, and it was reinforced by my heroes, guys like Hunter S. Thompson and Kurt Cobain and Elliott Smith and Nietzsche, and my worldview got forged very early. So I was talking to one of my best friends from high school the other day, and I agreed with something he said. Is when we were 17 and 18, he's like, looking back, it's kind of bullshit because you knew who you were when you were 17 and none of us knew who we were. And I'm like, yeah, I'm much more refined now, but I've always been this. So people will ask me, when did you wake up to this? Like, a lot of people had a social awakening in the last 10 years with politics with respect to Trump or Obama or Biden and Clinton. So a lot of people were entering politics for the first time. I've been in politics since I was a little kid. So my first election was Bush v. Gore, and I was an activist then. I was at FSU when my friends got sent to Iraq, and I've been the counterculture the whole time. And I think the most jarring thing for me from all of it was my really good friend Matt from high school. Like my crew is, I don't have a bunch of new friends. Sarah's like the only new friend I have from the last 5 years. And but my other friend from high school, Matt, my old roommate, said after the Trump election in 2016, he called me and he goes, how's it feel to officially be part of the counterculture for the first time? Because up until that point, I'm 34 years old and I'm in the mainstream. And I have all these counterculture ideas, but it didn't matter. Like, what am I going to do? Rage against Barack Obama? Like, that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So when Trump came into office, it was like, it's like, all right, well, this is what Rage Against the Machine taught us. Now it's time for me to be that guy. And I took it a little bit as a social responsibility with my skill set, because my heroes are dead, all of them. Greg Giraldo, Kurt Cobain, Jeff Buckley, Elliott Smith, Mitch Hedberg, like George Carlin. Like, my heroes are all dead. And people say all the time, Bill Hicks, I wonder what those guys would say now. And I'm like, I'm doing my best here, guys. Like, I'm trying. And I'm just trying to keep that ethos alive for young people, because I've seen that they don't have an off ramp. Like, they've got the alt-right and look maxing and the incels, and it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. Like, when I was 16 and I didn't like how I looked, I dove into music and creativity. These kids are diving into TikTok and the gym, and there's like this slight tinge of eugenics through all of it. And it's just the time we're living in. And nobody has an off ramp for hyper aware male sensitivity through pop culture. So for someone like me who's super aggressive, I still had Kurt Cobain as like my bedrock of femininity through a male lens. And I've carried that the whole time. And now I'm doing that. And people are like, well, what is that? And it's like, just look at Kurt Cobain. He did all this better than me first.
Do you think that that's what made you such a great agent, was when you could almost feel like a contract coming in that was like out of balance for your client, where you're like, oh yeah, this is bullshit. This is out of whack. This isn't fair. Or like, is this coming back to your childhood, where I know you had a lot of medical problems when you were a child. This is all online. This is not like,
no, you can talk about all of this. I'm good. You don't have to preface.
Okay. Like, do you think that growing up, quote unquote, not healthy all the time and having all those surgeries? Because my son, I shared with you in a DM, my son was born and he was very sick, and he is fiery like you. I think that there's a part, and my grandma always said, Cody, he fought to be alive. Do you think that fire is what kept you alive and is kind of burning inside of you now, the catalyst to the crazy?
Yeah. I don't have. So like I said, all my heroes are dead, and a lot of people on the outside would cast projections onto me in the sense that, well, you love all those guys and you were influenced by all those people, and therefore by proxy you also are dark. And I don't have any darkness like that. I'm going to live to be 200. Like, there's never going to be a time where I'm in hospice where it's like, it's just better to pull the plug. It's never better to pull the plug. Like, I'll be right at the end. Just like, they're like, wow, what is the quality of life? It's better than the alternative. So for me, I spent first 18, 19 years of my life in the hospital with 44 surgeries. So like, my intestine ruptured, my bladder was half missing when I was born. And it took a lot of corrections. And then by the time I got to high school, when my intestine ruptured, I was NPO for 7 months. I didn't eat. And, you're there with nothing. So like, back then there's no like internet. So you get like hospital TV, and I got baseball books and comedy. And when I was a little kid, I just wanted to be a sports agent because I knew I wasn't going to be an athlete. I didn't have that drive. Like, I could have in hockey. I could have played professionally at some level in hockey if I put everything into that, but I didn't see a good end game for me. So I played through college, which was awesome, and I could have played D1, which, coming from Florida, was pretty amazing. I was a goalie, and I had all those GI surgeries. My doctors were pissed, and I don't care. It was worth it. I'd do it again. But you were asking me about being a sports agent, if it made me effective. No. Being a sports agent made me significantly worse at everything. I did not like what it required, and I was so good at it. And in a way, you have these times alone where I do, where you're like, man, if I didn't have all those surgeries, what kind of person would I be? I mean, I've asked Sarah that before, and I'd have been a serial killer or a sociopath if I didn't have empathy. And my brain processing speed is so fast, and like I have empathy because of all the surgeries of Kurt Cobain. If I didn't have that, I would be terrified, because in baseball, you check your empathy at the door. I was ruthless. Like, I love telling people that go through empty platitudes. Like, I like showing them how bad sports is. Like, I'm the scary guy in sports. It wasn't nice. It wasn't self-righteous. It was sociopathic. Like, I had to go, it's pure capitalism. I had to go get money from billionaires. Do you know the level of sociopathy it takes for someone like me to go get a check from a billionaire? Like, I'm one of the people that can go do that. And it's sociopathic. It's horrible. And it's just all about money. And I am not built for that. And I would even get into arguments with my dad early on in my career. I mean, we would fight about like Tim Tebow. Like, even when he was in college, I wasn't even representing him. It wasn't a thing. It was a hypothetical. But he's like, so if you had some conservative Christian like Tim Tebow and you were a sports agent, that was your job, you just wouldn't sign him? Like, no, I wouldn't fucking sign him. And like, that's where like you realize like, oh, my dad and I are two totally different people. And I represented tons of evangelical guys through the years, and I don't have that in me to put that shit aside for business. I just don't. I'm not one of those respect everybody's beliefs thing. Like, I'll endure everybody's beliefs, but I'll think you're stupid. So like, for me, the thing that made me a great sports agent is that I was able to be really smart and check the empathy at the door and just commodify everything. And that's all bad. That's not a good skill set. That's a horrible thing to go do. Like, think about it this way. If I had a baseball player, and my singular purpose for that baseball player was to get him the most amount of money possible for his family with no other considerations, think of how damaging I am to everyone else but that person to enable that. So like, if I had a player who was in a bad ownership group's market like the Marlins, and he was your fan favorite, the captain, the kids loved him, and I would go to the owner at the end of the season, and, you know, if that was the right player, I'd be like, give this guy money or I'm going to fuck up every kid's life in the area. Like, I'm going to fuck up every kid's life in the whole area. You're going to burn the jerseys. They're going to hate him in school. Fuck you. They're not going to come to the games. But that only works if you have the right players. If you have shitty players or guys that are just run of the mill, you know, you're just like begging. It's the antithesis. Like, oh, my guy's a great guy and he works really hard, and it's fake as fuck.
Yeah.
And the thing people really liked me for, and I would alienate tons of players, shockingly, is the guys that bought in. Like, they knew what I was doing for the most part, and they were fine with it. They're like, go do exactly that. But like the other kind of player, they're like, get the fuck away from me. We hate you. It was either or. And I would say I got to the top of being an agent. I did every single thing that ever happened.
I knew your name. I knew your name when you first came on my FYP. I was like, oh, I know that name. Even my husband's in sports. He was in the front office for 30 years. But I just knew your name, which is so weird.
I have a weird last name.
Yeah, right. So it kind of like, I went, ding, like, wait, what's going on here? I know that name. Sarah, what is it like? Because not only did you guys just start a podcast together, but you've been friends, you're, you know, partners in life. What is it like being in a relationship with somebody who knows who they are to their core and isn't afraid of projecting that out into the world?
Yeah, what is that like, Sarah?
It is probably one of the most hectic things of my entire life. I don't think I've gone to therapy more since I met Josh.
That's not my fault.
Like I said, for the first 6 months of our
relationship, was my fault.
Thank you. First 6 months of our relationship, he never turned the character off.
Mm-hmm.
So I was stuck with this manic person, and I'm just like, you need to chill the fuck out. Like, I can't do this.
Like, this did not exist.
Yeah, this melancholy right now. Thank you guys. I've done my time. I put my work in. I will write my bill later for it. But with Josh, you always have to do one of two things. You have to take the phone away and make sure that he's making eye contact with you and be like, hey, turn it off. It's just us here. Yeah. And if you can't get him out of that, I just walk away. And then he follows.
Yeah. Well, I know for myself, like there's so many times I have 2 podcasts, this and the other one, Meredith with a Y. And, then I have my TikTok, and then my persona is quite different on like Instagram and Facebook. And it's like there's this draw in me that I like would love to get away from politics. Like I just want to get out of the vortex because it's so consuming. But at the same time, I'm with you, Josh, when it comes to like, but how? How do I get away? How do I turn a blind eye to the chaos and the disgusting shit that's going on? I just can't. I'm trying, and then I go to sleep at night, and I'm like, but, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to put it down when you feel this draw. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just it pulls you in, and you want to scream from the rooftops and make everybody get it, and it's frustrating when they don't. And you're not frustrated at all.
No, I thrive in chaos. I'm like, thanks to therapy, like I'm very zen in the middle of all of this. Like I make other people apparently very uncomfortable, but like ask her, like I'm zen. Everyone that sees the videos are like, you'll get the bot armies. Like, are you okay? You look like you're gonna like I smoke weed 24 hours a day. I don't have to go to work, and I get to talk about the news as a weekend update comedian. Some people consume what I do very seriously, which I appreciate, but I have the Jon Stewart cop out where I know some people don't think I'm funny, but I'm still a comedian. And I mean, I have a social responsibility to treat it better than that. But for me, this is going to sound how it sounds, but my worldview that allows me to do stuff like this precludes me from those concerns, because when you say you want to shake people in the audience into understanding, I don't have any consideration for the audience when I do anything. I just do this for me. And I started all of this when I saw 2 people doing videos. One person I am dear friends with now, and one person I hate. And one guy was Jeff Pearlman, the sports writer, and I eviscerated him in videos out of jealousy and misplaced anger when I first saw his videos, because I saw him doing a version of what I could have been doing, and he was getting tons of results from it. And I was pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? He's a sports writer. I actually did this shit, and my stories are way better. This is unfucking, like I was losing my mind. And then we started fighting on the internet because I was being a dickhead. And then finally we hashed it out, but it was like, oh, right, my bad, you're a good guy. And then I ended up on his show for an hour and a half, and now he's writing the foreword to my book. And also go buy his book. He wrote the Tupac book that's out right now on Amazon. But yeah, Jeff's awesome. He went from someone that I ridiculed by reading all of his old articles. I did, and he doesn't do any of that shit anymore. Like, it's not even bad, good, whatever. I just didn't agree with it, like the way he did stuff. Mm-hmm. And what he does now, he's on my Mount Rushmore. Now, does that mean I'm a fan of every single thing my friend has ever made content-wise? It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what my tastes are. I think he's good at what he does and for his audience. But what I was saying before Perlman, I saw him doing this, and I was like, well, I could do that with my skill set. Yeah. And then I saw Aaron Parnas, who I regularly just melt down about, because it's genuinely the most frustrating thing ever. And that's the only one where I'll kind of backtrack on what I just said. I don't ever think of the audience ever, except for Aaron Parnas, because I can't believe we're this stupid. I can't. The whole story, if you just read it, beginning to end factually on the Wikipedia, there's no scenario in which one could conclude, oh yeah, this is a good person who's helping. And it's like, I know how he's so impactful on the apps, but if you go into the real world and you get past the bots and the following and the fake inflated numbers, what is his impact in the real world? Talk to anybody outside of TikTok. Who the fuck is Aaron Parnas? And sometimes you got to step away from the internet and be like, all right, the real world's still the real world. TikTok's TikTok. And in the real world, nobody knows who the fuck I am. No one. And TikTok, a pocket of people know who I am. So it doesn't affect my life. But a guy like Parnas got me to switch from sports to politics because I was angry that he was the leading voice of the center left. right now because
Mhm.
everything he was saying was bullshit. Like, he may be ideologically against Trump. I mean, I'm 100% vote Democrat no matter what, unless it's Graham Plattner, which that's another one. But I don't care what the audiences think. And then Parnas got me because his audience is middle America, people slightly older than me. I'm 43, that just want things to be okay and go back to this imaginary center that doesn't exist anymore. And then we go back to like Barack Obama 2010, where we pretend everything's good, but it's really not great. And it's all make believe. And he knows better. His dad is Lev Parnas. He wrote a book trying to exonerate Lev Parnas, from what he had done. Don't forget, the president pardoned Lev Parnas. Aaron was there for all of it. And every excuse you get in the comments section is generally a bot where they're like, oh, he was a teenager. He was this. And they have this all planned out. He was even outed as taking money from, that DNC think tank, which, again, I don't have problems with people taking money. It's just when he is so obviously pushing propaganda in between all of the actual news that he's stealing and aggregating. Like, to call him a reporter is ridiculous. The guy's reading other TikTok stories. I do that too. Like, it's not a skill, except I make jokes about it, which is I'm a comedian. People keep saying he's a journalist. He reads other people's stories, and now he has a podcast, a Substack, a channel, and he's trying to get a show. And it's like, you have Democrat grifters too. And they're like, Josh, why are you spending so much time on him? What about the right wing? I'm like, I don't have to spend that much time on the right wing. All the right wing's bad, 100%. It's much simpler conversation.
Well, I love when you pull, for me anyways, when you pull into view people that I might have been like, oh, that person's left wing. What the hell is his name? New Rules guy.
No, Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
Please do this with me. I have a blood feud there. I hate him so much. I think he hurts America. I think he's the off-ramp for centrists to go be racist. There's so many Democrats that I know that cite him and then immediately go and say the racist thing immediately after that. It's never the good thing. It's never, I saw Bill Maher and then I did the good thing. It's always, I saw Bill Maher and now I'm leaning right wing. It's never the good thing. And he is regularly meeting with the president and he's completely quadrupling down on it and whatever. I could do this forever. But my favorite comment about Bill Maher in the history of the world was Norm Macdonald, who politically I did not agree with on pretty much everything. But Norm was my hero as a comedian, even though he was a right-wing comedian. He was a great comedian. He didn't let the politics bleed into the comedy. But Norm, if you ever go look at the old interviews, had a blood feud with Bill Maher. And this is one of the greatest stories ever. We're totally going to go long today because now you got me talking.
I'm good.
So with Maher, Norm Macdonald said that he was the most unfunny person in comedy and television because he didn't tell jokes and he didn't want people to laugh at what he was saying. He wanted people to applaud him sitting next to him because he wanted to be the smartest guy in the room. And Norm said it's very hard to be the smartest guy in the room and get laughs from people because you're just kind of lording over them. And he said the New Rules segment of his show was the most offensive as a comedian because you were going for applause and not laughter, and that's antithetical to comedy. Norm was a genius when it came to this shit. I studied all those guys. And the day Norm died, this is a true story, Bill Maher was on Jimmy Kimmel, just happened to be the scheduling gods. And Kimmel asked him, about Norm. And Maher, this fake motherfucker, gives this heartfelt eulogy to Norm, like how great he was. And I'm dying laughing because I know how much Norm hated him.
Oh my God.
My point is, a guy like Maher has sold out completely for money. And I like to refer to him as this Islamophobic right-wing Democrat in name only because he's just, he's a Republican who likes to smoke weed. He treats women horribly. He loves slurring people. He thinks the obesity epidemic can be solved by will instead of actual health issues. He's a fucking moron. Like, you can't reach people like this. And one of the things that I'll volunteer ranting here is I don't do the debate me, bro, structure with anybody, whether it was Maher or Charlie Kirk. So I'm so hesitant to do media. I mean, Perlman I owed, and you actually got through to me in the DMs, which is a miracle. I don't do any of these. But I just, the debate me format's so stupid, and this is gonna sound how it's gonna sound. I'm not I'm not curious how I stack up intellectually versus anybody. I don't care. Generally, I'm smarter most times, and I don't need an audience to prove that. So I think that whole structure is just clickbaity and stupid. And I
Yeah,
think,
what's that guy, Andrew Wilson? He's
oh
this
God, his life's over. His whole career's over. I love it.
dude, he is frightening. Like he is. I had that Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer on my podcast, my other podcast. And I mean, the base of his entire argument was because God made it.
Right. And I'm going to keep preaching Cobain through this because hopefully that's what resonates, not me. But like Cobain in 92, I was 10 years old, and he wrote the liner notes to Incesticide, which was the album they released in between In Utero and Nevermind. And in the liner notes towards the end of it, in the album sleeve, before everything was digital and we were not old yet, he had a rant at the end of it that said, if any of you people hate women, gay people, or minorities, don't buy our records, don't come to our shows. I was 10 years old when I read that. And I'm like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And that whole ethos has been like baked in of just kind of trying to stick up for the marginalized and the underdog, because that's what I am, I am or was. And it's disheartening to see all these people in this debate format. Even like the good guys like Mehdi Hassan, they'll go on to those 19, like, let's platform 19 white supremacists and one not white supremacist and have them destroy them. It's like, right, but you just platformed 19 white supremacists. What are you doing? And they're like, well, now they're exposed. Really? Were we unsure before? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And people get so caught up. I mean, really, I know the secret to all of this. It's The Simpsons had an episode for Halloween in like season 10. And all of the mascots from like corporations came to life and haunted the city, and like 10 foot tall, like Paul Bunyan's blowing up the city. And they're like, how do we stop all of these representatives of capitalism from destroying our city, quite literally? Like they had like Ox and the donut. And then they brought in Paul Anka, which was obscure then too. And they wrote a jingle, and it was called Just Don't Look. And the trick was don't look. And then they all died and went away. And I always try to bring up that jingle to people, because people think they have to answer for every crazy fucking thing conservatives say. And one of the things that the Barstool guys hate about me is that I don't do this for content purely. I will literally set this on fire and just stop everything and say, fuck you, you're bad. Let's just do this. And the trick to dealing with the debate me bros and the conservatives is to not win them over. It's to write them off completely.
That's what I think. I think I agree with that. I think that we're giving them way too much airtime to talk. And you and I DM'd about a couple of people that were going to come on my other show.
Well, yeah, I begged you not to.
And you're like, you just need to understand what you're getting if you have me on. And I'm like, okay, I have to think about this. But it's true. Like, Sarah, when you guys are out in public, when you're at home, when you're doing your thing, and Josh isn't in a hot tub, P.S.
or a shower.
Or a shower or a swimming pool. He's over there cleansing the energy, right, in the water.
Right. Stress the stage next time.
Are you ever like, bruh, we got to change the subject? Or does he have that outlet of social media and then he can like talk about other things with you? Like, is that kind of a good outlet where he can just go and then dial it back with you?
Yeah, and we talk about a lot of things too. So like he's allowed to be mellow and very zen, and he can just sit there and have conversations. And if he gets too charismatic, I'm just like, are you filming right now? And he'll be like, no. And I'm like, okay, then tone it down. Bring it back to earth. But it's easy.
Is she your balancer, Josh? Does she like kind of like anchor you down a little bit and like soften the edges?
Yes.
I'm his tree pane.
It's I'm doing my best except for like this and a couple other things. I'm doing my best, Andy Kaufman. And I mean, if I couldn't even fathom trying to navigate an interpersonal relationship now. I mean, the viewership for the year got, like, since you even read that when I sent it to you a month ago, I'm at 75 million now, not 55. Like, it went up another 20 million. Why not? That's normal. And it's a mind fuck to have all of that every day. And I mean, I'm sure you guys saw like the uptick in what I'm doing, but like, I mean, I'm posting, like, for the last week, I was trying to do 30 videos a day. And
Wow.
what I was trying to get at before I got off topic is, you know, you were asking about the audience and trying to get them to do something. And again, what I was saying is I do this for me, and there's no consideration from my end about the audience. Like, oh, is this going to do well? Or do people like, if I want to talk about something and I want to say it, then that's generally what it is. And I always try to tell people, even like when I was doing stand-up more regularly, I learned this from the people that I looked up to. So again, Greg Giraldo, Mitch Hedberg, I spent time with them. I got to talk to them. And, you know, very fortunate that I learned that the audience is a moving target, whether you're in front of 5 people in a bar at an open mic, or you're at a venue where there's 300 people that paid to see you, or you're on TikTok and there's 1 billion people. And you'll see comedians will get to a show beforehand and get freaked out. And they're like, I have to change my jokes because the audience is this makeup, or there's a lot of women, or there's a lot of Spanish people, or there's a lot of black people, or a lot of Jewish people. And every single one of those people fails. Like, they all fail because it's ridiculous. Trying to guess a moving target in an audience is a ridiculous thing. The real trick is, you know, would I watch this? Would I do this? And that's the metric of how you can be successful navigating this stuff without worrying about the audience. Because the trick is if you're good, much like baseball, the scouts will find you. Yeah. So if you believe in what you're doing and you can articulate it the way that you want to, and you can deliver it and refine it over time the way that you want it to look, if you're good, people will find you. If you crash out and fail, that's also your fault. Like, I've had 3 TikTok accounts that got banned already, 12,000, 35,000. And then this is the 3rd one. And I constantly adjusted and learned, but it was me doing it. And you can't worry about the second half. You can't, unless you're doing it for an end game, right? Like, I'm getting into social media because I want to make money doing this, and I want to sell shirts, and I want to be a comedian. And I've found it to be counterproductive to want something from any of this. If something happens, you should have people in place that can organize it and turn it into something. But I can't stress enough. Nobody should be doing anything for an audience unless you're a corporation. That's their job. Like, everybody should just be doing the best work they can. I saw Dave Chappelle's agent. The fuck was his name? I hate this guy. He's a guy who's got a podcast. He's a really famous comedian agent. He was the agent for Dane Cook. And he told a story about how Dane Cook was so good for the studios. He was willing to change his act and do recording things. And it impacted the work. And Dane's very successful, and he's very rich now. And for me, again, as a comedian, that's like super antithetical to why I do any of this. Like, if I had to change a joke for money, I would just quit. And apparently not everyone's like that. But the overarching point is, don't, like, fuck the audience. Do what you want to go do. And if nobody watches it, that's fine. Nobody's watching it. And if it works, tons of people watch it.
Yeah.
And posting, I tell Sarah this all the time, it's the Kai Cenat method. You're going to post for a really long time and no one's going to care. And then maybe you'll get one. And then people will care. And then people will go back to not caring immediately. And then maybe people will care again a couple times. And then it'll spike. And then eventually it'll start to plateau up. And then that's your audience. It kind of baselines out. And people will complain about shadow bans and the algorithm. I mean, that stuff's all real. But you see the content that I talk about. Like, they didn't bang my account. I don't have any strikes. Like, I mean, there's ways to do this without compromising what you want to do or selling out. And we live in an era now, this is the end of the soliloquy, I swear, where, like, selling out is called getting your bag. And I just, again, that melts my brain. Like I could have sold out so many times for money. And I've had to ask Sarah, like, am I insane here? Like, if I got offered $1 million to go to Riyadh, like, would you tell me to go? And she's like, no, I would never speak to you again if you went. I'm like, all right, awesome. So like, it's just, the world's very different. I'm trying to remind people it's still possible. There we go.
No, I love it. Sarah, when you watch his level of content creation, because I know you are starting your own business with, the cruise industry. You've been doing this a while. You're a multi-million-dollar agent when it comes to travel agency. When you're watching his level of exposure, does that because I know I've watched a couple of your videos and you're not in them. You're a little timid. I get it. It's weird starting out. If you go back and look at my beginning of TikTok, you'd be like, oh, wow, this is bad. Does that intimidate you or does it inspire you? And how does that, are you pushing her, Josh? Where are we at with that, Sarah?
So here's the fun fact that a lot of people don't know. I don't watch his content.
Stop.
I never watch his content. He'll send me videos and I'll say, is this your video? And he says, yes. And I said, cool, I'm not watching. Talk about it later. It's because I don't want it to be on my feed. The probably funnest part for me is whenever he has lives and I'm just scrolling, doing my everyday thing, and his live pops up and I'm like, what's up, bitch?
He's over there listening to music.
Yeah. So I just pop in there and I'm like, hey. And he's like, oh shit, she's here now.
She's here. I know my husband will be laying in bed and all of a sudden I'll hear my voice and I'm like, stop it, scroll. I don't want to hear myself.
I don't watch anything that he sends me.
My dad still watches my videos and I'm sitting next to him, be like, the fuck? I'm right here. What the fuck?
Nope. I will never watch his videos. Never gonna happen. It's not gonna mess with my FYP.
You're gonna have to watch them all.
I said to my husband, I'm like, if you want to know how I'm doing, go watch one of my videos. Cause that's usually where I'm at on the planet mentally, emotionally, physically is my videos. Cause there I emote, I show up, I express. And at home, I'm usually kind of an introvert. I'm I don't tell people my problems. I don't tell my family necessarily how I'm feeling, which probably isn't good, but I'm not afraid to put that shit out on social media, which is so weird.
And that's kind of what I'm doing right now too, is that's why I'm taking a very slow route with social media. And I didn't want to start producing a lot of videos, didn't want to do a lot of things. And Josh is like, no, you have to. And I was like, all right, well, I'll try this, this way to get it done. And then there's so many different sectors of my life, travel, makeup, dealing with Josh, the podcast, things like that. And I put out a lot of things because mental health is a very big thing for me. It's something that I struggle with daily. And then also addiction and recovery, because that is something that I went through, and I celebrate 8 years clean, December 13th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's very easy for me to tell other people about my life. But up until 2-3 years ago, my family actually had no idea anything that I'd been through.
Wow.
They knew I had the drug and alcohol problem and helped me get in rehab, but everything else in my past, they had no idea anything happened to me.
Well, I think that sometimes what you and I are talking about then is it is sometimes easier to talk into the void, you know, and just kind of take that time to process your own brain and then spit it out to a camera versus having someone try and give you feedback or opinions or judgment or even praise. It kind of it's uncomfortable. I was telling Josh on DM, I was like, my husband, oh yeah, because someone was mean to you. And and my husband and I, we did on my other podcast, we started doing a series of he and I. And everyone was giving him feedback. I love this. This is great. I love the two of you on camera, or whatever. And I'm like, don't tell me. I don't even want to know the good stuff. I just put it to the void. I don't care what happens to it after that. It's so weird that opinion hitting you. Isn't that so? When you're talking about the fact that you have all these facets, it's almost like you have to have 3 different accounts, like makeup, travel, mental health, because
Mhm.
you don't want, like, the travel people are going to watch that account for like travel. Like, okay, I'm going to go check out Sarah and see where my next trip should be, blah, blah, blah. But I don't necessarily maybe want, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, that's why I have 2 podcasts, and that's why my content is very different all around. I don't know, that's a really good, because I will tell you, like, I have run into a couple accounts of travel agents, and I'm like, ooh, wait, where is that? Like, show me the videos, show me the food, show me is this good for families or not? So they are very, very effective, I will say.
Yeah.
Travel agents are very effective on social media because it's shit that I would never know about, or locations that I would never know about. Especially like, instead of going to Milan, the second city over like is a
Mhm.
better option than going to Milan, where it's everything but all influencers taking photographs. Like that whole thing. Like, now Greece and Mykonos and Santorini is nuts. But maybe is there someplace else that's close like that, but is off the beaten path and isn't famous on Instagram? So, yeah, I mean, you're like me. You're kind of all over the place when it comes to passions, and that can be challenging for sure.
It's nice though, because now that I am with the franchise, we actually have separate sectors.
Oh,
So we have we call it sober, not boozing cruise. So that happens every year. So we do a dry bar cruise where we have, AA meetings, and we have local greet ups, and then we schedule actual events for everyone to have and go to. I am kind of working on something now, fingers crossed, to deal with baseball and cards in the future. I want to do a spring training cruise.
oh, that's fun.
So I'm working on it. I don't know a lot about baseball. I typically just make fun of
Wait,
the
what did she
pictures.
call it? What did you say on your podcast? The baseball,
The baseball.
the baseball.
Yep.
It
Josh is
is
over
the
there. It's
base.
like his whole life, and she's like, the baseball.
It's so funny because before he started like finding it funny, he was just like, stop calling it that. And I was like, no, it's the baseball.
The baseball, which I have to ask, why? And for me, never stop saying it, just for the sheer fact that you get so many people, Josh, commenting, why do you always introduce yourself as ex MLB agents? Which is just enough to get people to rage comment. But
Yeah,
why
no,
do you introduce yourself that way when you are all the things? I have to ask because it's on my list, and I want to know myself.
it's just an intro.
You're so humble.
People are dumb. It's just an intro. Like, it's like there was an old Simpsons episode, which I'll keep citing all of these references, which is what I do on the reference guy. But Bart had an epiphany about the I didn't do it episode, and Bart had a catchphrase that gradually got less funny over time, and then he finally embraced it. And by the time he embraced it, it wasn't funny. But the epiphany he had, there's a rant on The Simpsons where Bart goes, repetitiveness is my job. My job. Repetitiveness is my job. What's your job? Repetitiveness. And it's like, John Butchergrass told me a story a long time ago. The guy at ESPN, I used to work for him. We're still boys. And I told John when I was 21 years old, when he hired me in 2003, I go, John, this is the best decision of your life. I'm going to make you famous. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't want to be famous. I want to be rich. And the branding side is just branding. It's just,
Yeah.
if people want to get famous on TikTok, go make 50 videos and say your name over and over again, and people will remember you. And then make sure when they remember you that you have something to say behind, or else they'll forget you very quickly. But it's just a brand. It's a branding hack.
I love it. I love it. I love it because, I mean,
Jeff
people
Pearlman asked me- Jeff
rage
Pearlman
comment
asked me
too.
that. I'm sorry.
People rage comment too. So, hey,
Yeah,
keep
I
commenting.
don't. That was unintentional. Like, I don't think of it that way. But like, the way I would put it is, at some level, I've always said this, even when I was working as an agent, it would have upset me greatly if that's what people knew me for, was from baseball, and I was determined to set that on fire. So it was very important to me that the word former was prevalent in everything I did, so people didn't ask me about the stupid fucking baseball career. Like
Yeah.
I love saying former because I love that I don't have to do that shit anymore. I hated it. I hated most of it.
Is that why you got out? You were just like, I can't do this anymore. The billionaire thing.
I mean, I got out of it because I hate the Players Association and the stuff they enable. I mean, they were very comfortable enabling athletes who were in so many domestic violence situations or sexual assaults and just defending the players, and I did not want to participate in that at all.
Yeah.
Because that's just not, I don't want to do that.
What made you guys decide that you were going to do a podcast? Damage Control, great name. I was worried when you sent me the original, it was kind of like a screenshot of a podcast, and then I went and looked for it, and this was before you guys had gone live with it. There was like 700 of whatever the other name was, and I was like, oh shit, I hope they didn't choose that. And then you picked Damage Control, and I put it in, and I was like, yes, I love Damage Control. It's such a great, because it's like Sarah should just wear the Damage Control t-shirt, and then Josh, you should have like creating damage.
Yeah,
seriously, he creates damage.
I gave her a list of like 4 names that I came up with for the podcast that we were going to do, because I couldn't find a co-host and I wasn't willing to do a sports podcast. And I'd been asked to do a lot of different media this year, and I didn't like any of it. And I didn't want to do a solo podcast. I didn't want to really interview politicians. I didn't want to make it baseball centric. Like, I knew the John Boy guys before they were famous. I've been on that show. I don't like sports content. I don't consume it that much, and I don't want to be a part of it. So I'm my own thing. And the only thing that really made sense, Sarah figured out, was just to put her as the co-host, because I didn't really play it well off everybody. Like, I tried out other comedians, and it just fucking sucked. And like, not the other comedians, just the way that we played off each other was terrible. It was just really uninteresting, and just kind of like every boring white guy podcast, like, oh, the Heat are playing great, I love the Dolphins, politics are weird. And it's like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to listen to it, and I don't want to do it. So like, I always told people, like, if I was going to do it, I'd have to be able to make money off it, or have it not be terrible, and then eventually make money off it, but definitely make money off it. And,
yeah. Well, if I have to give you any advice, I will tell you right now, never miss a week.
No, yeah, we can't.
Consistency is like literally the bread and butter of getting your like to the top. Is consistent. I quit for like 8 weeks, and the only reason I got back into it, I went with a lunch with a bunch of gals, and they were like, I haven't seen your podcast in a while. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do it anymore. And it kills you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a show years ago, which you can all find on iTunes, the Joshua Kusnick Experience. And it's all baseball from when I was an agent. And I did it with my buddy Ryan Sullivan. And that was fun. I'm a bit in a different situation when it comes to the recording. Like Sarah's thing, we have to record every week. But one of the things that I've noticed is there's like such a huge demand for certain facets of things that I can do, and I don't want to do any of them. And it's weird, because as soon as I do it, the audience just shows up. And like, if we booked a venue, it would sell out, and I don't want to do any of those things. I don't want to go on tour. I don't want to.
But I think you said you're amping up for a tour for comedy tour for 2026.
I am. My book's coming out in March for spring, tentatively. I got to finish writing it, and then they got to do the edit. But like, I've been working on it for like a year and a half, and that got me on the map pretty early with the media people when I set up the TikTok, because I posted the first chapter on joshkusnick.com, which is where, you know, you can get everything that we have. The podcast is there. The merch will be there. Like, there was a DDoS attack on the internet this week, so we have the old shell of the site up right now, but eventually it'll be fixed. But the book is what got me noticed from everything last year, and it opened up a lot of opportunities where I could have either done a TV show or optioned the materials for a movie or signed with CAA, and ultimately I just DIY'd it with my friends and put them in different roles and just said, I'm going to do this myself so I don't have any interference. But it's been interesting. I think the consistency thing matters, but when you have something that just there's this ridiculous demand for, which is my book, which I'm not flexing that like, oh, I'm going to be rich in that. It's just there's a lot of people that want me to finish it, and I haven't been able to yet. And I hear about it all the time. And it's just weird because I've been on the other side where you're just like struggling for views. Like I'll have bad weeks where it'll dip below less than 100,000 for me in a day. And it'll be like, what the fuck happened? But ultimately, it comes from that irrational sense of self where you're not doing it for the audience. Like I know how valuable it is what I'm doing. No one else is doing it, and I'll show up when I want to. And I think part of what I do is the chaotic nature of people not knowing of when I'm going to post makes it a little bit like an event, because then people scramble to it and then they go up. So it's been weird seeing the reaction to this stuff, because again, I don't think about how any of it gets received ever. So some of the best stuff that I do, to my own standards, will fail horrifically in the masses. And
oh my God, isn't it the worst? I just had a video. I've got like eye boogers. It's like 6 a.m. The lighting's bad. I look like shit. I've got
2 million views. 2 million views.
10 million views.
10 million, even worse. Yeah.
10 million. And I'm like, I have an eye booger from the mascara from yesterday right there. You know, it's always like, you know, you like just throw it up there. Yeah. And it just went to, I think it's at 9.8 million views. And then I'll have something that is just crafted that I've been buzzing around my head. And it's like,
views.
Yep. 300 views. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me with this?
My favorite of all.
I asked him that the other day too. I was like, dude, what the hell is going on with my videos? Because like he sat me down and he was like, all right, here you go. And I crafted it and it's like 300 views. And then the one that I spontaneously did when I looked, I was sick as hell, 1,070. And I'm like, what? What the heck?
Like I've done so many videos this year on stuff, and I have like a 7.7 second video on Tim Tebow that has 1.8 million views. And I'm like, that's the one.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I do hate Tim Tebow.
Well, I mean, you brought so much stuff to my attention. I mean, I always knew he was problematic because
Did you know that he used to go to the Philippines to perform circumcisions on children at Uncle Dick's Christian mission founded by his father?
Yeah, you brought that to my attention. I'm traumatized.
Millions of people know that because of me now.
Because of you, literally. Like, that's the thing. Like, you bring this stuff to people's attention that it wouldn't be in my vision screen for any reason whatsoever. And I'm like, oh God, like it's worse than I thought.
Society allow that to occur. How? I was in college. I'm 43. He was the class after me. He was in college at UF with Urban Meyer, the Pounceys, Aaron Hernandez, you know, all the winners. And he's going.
Don't you put my Pounceys there?
I mean, they're not great guys either. But Tebow in the offseason would go to the Philippines, and his father founded a missionary in the Philippines, which now does stuff in Europe and all these other places. It's literally called Uncle Dick's Christian Mission, and they perform medical procedures, all kinds. And for some reason, during the voluntary circumcision procedures that they're performing there, Tim Tebow, who has no medical expertise while he is a teenager or now, would jump in to help with the medical procedures. And it got so mainstream with the whitewashing and brainwashing to me is there are ESPN videos lauding him for doing this like a white savior. There are Time magazine interviews talking about this, about how great he is. There is a viral Julian Edelman TikTok joking about it. And I'm sitting here in a world where I've watched True Detective on HBO season 1. And you're like, let me get this straight. This evangelical former athlete is now going around dabbling in crypto. He worked in a hedge fund. He's soliciting donations while he has a hedge fund, which bravo. And he's speaking the gospel around around the country at these revivals. And he's trying to get our government to give his hedge fund money to invest in technology to find missing and abused children. Why is that guy who did the circumcisions in the Philippines without a medical license doing this? And it's like, where the fuck's the news? Where the fuck are the journalists? And why is a stupid comedian doing this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that at this point, we all realize that we cannot get our news from mainstream because it's all bought and paid for. I mean, everything now is just a complete waste of time. All it is it's garbage at this point.
It's unwatchable. It's really all
yeah.
unwatchable garbage. And again, as someone who's Jewish, navigating the Israel issues in a world full of anti-Semitism and trying to explain why Israel is not Judaism has been one of the biggest, most annoying things of my last 5 years.
Well, I will tell you, growing up as a Christian, Episcopalian light, and now unchurched and deconstruction and all that other good stuff, I never, ever thought that I would see what we're seeing today. I never thought that I would ever in a million years hear anyone say anything about Israel or have any of this happening. Like I don't think there's anything Trump and Epstein Island, I'm like, sure. But the Israel piece, I never thought in 53 years I would ever get to this day where Josh is coming on going, I'm a J, anti-I, and I'm like, following, get it. I understand what you're saying. Like,
it's fun. So my mom was in the IDF in the 70s and lived on a kibbutz that was attacked on October 7th, like this, last year before. And she used to live on one of those kibbutzes. And I had a couple cousins that were American that moved to Israel that joined the IDF. I'm estranged from my entire family, by the way, just throwing that out there, except for my dad. And they left the IDF as soon as October 7th happened because they didn't want to participate in it, thank God. But I've been to that country like 5 times. I lived there when I was like 10 or 11 with my mom for a few months. And again, people ask me like, well, what radicalized you towards that? Well, when I was 10 and I was there, I saw how bad that place really was for everybody. It was uncomfortable for me. Here, I'll give you the exact moment. Every day we would leave the hotel in Netanya. We were at a 5-star resort in the middle of the city. I lived in the hotel for a couple months. And outside the hotel, there was like the city center where they had all the music stuff and the arcades, and it was amazing. Like if you were a Jewish guy from America, it was the greatest place in the world. It was an ethno state. It was, you're 11, you don't fucking know, but it was like, wow, look at how safe it is. I'm 11 and I can just be left out on the street and I can go play video games and it's totally fine. And but I remember every time I'd walk to the arcade, I was 10 years old, there was a black guy on the street, homeless, in Israel. And I remember always seeing homeless people in Miami when I would go to basketball games with my mom and stepfather. And I understood what homeless people were. But I was like, wait, we're in Israel. Why are there homeless people? And somebody explained to me when I finally kept asking, they're like, well, years ago in Ethiopia, there was a contingent of Jewish people that wanted to come to Israel to come back because, Jewish Holy Land. I'm like, okay, I'm following. And they're like, so the Ethiopian Jewish people came to Israel. I said, okay, so why is that guy on the street? They're like, well, he's Ethiopian. I said, right, but he's Jewish. And they're like, the guy finally said it to me. He goes, right, but he's not Jewish like us. And I was like, oh. And then I went to a different part of the city and they started throwing rocks at me and my mom. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? I'm Jewish. And they're like, oh, you're not Jewish like them. I'm like, how fucking segregated is this place? And that's just between Jewish people. Then it's segregated between Christians and Muslims and Jews. And you come back from that, and people would ask me for years. I was hated in Hebrew school. Like I got bar mitzvah, and then I never went back. And people would ask me, they're like, what's so bad about it? It's a Jewish Holy Land, the right to exist. And then you realize when you're older, at least me, you're like, wait a minute, that's propaganda. They don't have a right to exist as an ethno state. What are you fucking talking about? That is an insane thing to say. Like, what? Why is that okay? And then it starts devolving. And then you start getting into the answers. They're like, well, God said. It's like, please stop talking to me. I'm not having this conversation I've always found Zionism to be evil. Now, with that being said, this unfortunately has created a giant lane for anti-Semites and Jewish haters and literal Nazis to pile on and conflate Judaism and Zionism. And it sucks. It really sucks, because then you have people like Theo Vaughn going out in the zeitgeist screaming, "Free Palestine." It's like, what? You're friends with Jared Kushner. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, it is a nuanced conversation to have, because it's such a new conversation, at least for someone like myself who doesn't have that 10-year-old, 11-year-old experience, where I'm having these conversations with, college 20-somethings. And I'm like, X and Y are not the same. These are two different conversations. These are two different situations, even though it could be on the same.
But
It's a lot.
You have Zionist believing people saying that anyone criticizing Zionism is just using it as a shield to be anti-Semitic, because historically that has also been true.
Yes.
But when you have the Israeli government doing what it's doing now, and historically what it has always done since its inception, I mean, I could do an hour on Harry Truman of how much I hate this man, but whatever. People are starting to see how much Christian nationalism has perverted and influenced everything in our country, to the point where now we're excusing Jewish Zionism and Christian nationalism because it's essentially the same fucking thing. All right.
No, I mean, it's the weirdest shit I've ever woken up and but then I woke up to whatever that whole bullshit is with RFK Jr. this morning. So there's that moment.
Where he changed the CDC, or like he just what did he do now?
Oh, this is a whole thing where he wrote a poem to his girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, I read it. Just we're good.
Fledgling or some
bullshit. Sarah does not need to read that with her virgin ears.
Yeah, Sarah, don't stay away. Even though I think that Sarah gave me the look of, yeah, I know what you're talking about, Meredith.
I just want you to know that I send way better texts than Robert Kennedy. That was fucking bad.
So let me ask you guys this: with the new podcast, Damage Control,
on iTunes.
Do you have a title for your book yet? I mean, like, can I pre-order? What are we talking here?
The pre-order is getting set up this week on my website, joshkusnick.com, and everybody gets the whole autograph version. I think there's going to be like a baseball card that comes with it, like a limited edition one. They're talking to Leaf about all the marketing bullshit. I just got to finish plowing through writing it. The first chapter is available for free on the website, but like the pre-orders are coming by the time this is, up in the zeitgeist. I think the pre-order will be up for sale. Plus there's random ass merch and all that good stuff. But like mostly I'm just doing TikTok lives, dancing for nickels.
Well, I will tell you, like, that is a book that I would definitely buy my son, pre-order, give him a certificate that said this is coming in the mail. Here's a Christmas gift. Like, that's a great pre-order Christmas gift. You can give him something that says this is coming. So I'm
doing the empty box 1977 Star Wars Redemption, where they were like, here kids, we're not gonna have the toys ready. Here's your empty box for Christmas.
Exactly.
That's
what was the hardest chapter to write? I got to ask.
Nothing really. It's just a stream of consciousness. Nothing. It's not a lot of discovery for me, because I know all this, right? I live it, and the process of just like structuring it how I want it to be is deliberate. So it's like more structurally taxing to write it the way that I am.
Yeah.
Because it's original, which is nice job, asshole. Like, it could have just been traditional, but whatever.
It was like, just write the goddamn book.
I have yelled at him so many times. I'm like, how's the book going? And he goes, oh, chapter 3. And I'm like,
I'm on chapter like 8 or 9, but like,
how long is that take? A year?
It'll probably take longer. There's more stuff happening.
Yeah, it's going to take you 5 years now.
It might. I don't know.
Well, we're going to have to do like maybe 6 books, and just so that you don't feel overwhelmed that you need to get it all out in one.
I'm like George R.R. Martin. I wanted to, honest to God, release it by chapters on a website, and they all yelled at me. They're like, you can't do that. I'm like, I could. They're like, that would be very stupid. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll finish it. But like,
it's going to end up being like a very thick book.
I mean, it's just, there's so much stuff that I just don't like. like I'm like writing about 2013 right now, and it's just like I know the whole story. I've told it 1,000 times, and I'm just like slogging through it. And I know anyone reading it is like, this is so interesting, and I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about any of this. Like you know what? The hardest stuff to write about is the baseball stuff because I objectively do not care.
Yeah,
I don't care about 99% of the baseball stuff. That's the stuff. That's the hardest
hard stuff. Yeah,
because I don't fucking care at all. And it's the
to
stuff
get to present.
and it's the stuff that people kind of want to hear about. Like, what was Kenley Jansen like? What was Michael? Bro, I don't care. I don't care. That was like if you were an insurance agent and you had like 500 clients over 20 years, and then people asked you like, what were these 500 clients like? Wouldn't the majority of the answers be like, I don't care?
Yeah.
And that's
just think that you're writing, pick an avatar, and that's who you're writing to. You're writing to my 29-year-old son who's just dying for the
worse. No, it's the snake eating its tail. I don't care about the audience, so there's no external pressure for me to get it done. Like I really, if the audience is like, we need this, I'll be like, fuck you. I'm not going to write now. And it's like, it only hurts me. And then and Sarah's like, this is so much better than going back on the dating apps.
Well, there's that. Sarah, what do you want the audience to take away from Damage Control at the end of the day, at the end of the episode, or like just in life? What are you like, yeah, this is what I want to get out there?
I think a big part for me was just our honesty. Is the fact that like I'm not going to lie to you. I don't do it to my friends now, and I've never done it before. If you don't like what I'm saying, that sucks. I'm sorry. But I'm not going to lie to you to make you like me.
Did your communication skills make it hard for you to date other people before me?
Yeah, does it make it hard to talk to you every day now? Yes.
No, it makes it easy. I know what you're saying.
You know what I loved about your first I loved your first episode. I didn't know you had so many animals. I thought that was very endearing.
Oh yeah, we've got the two gangs of Annapels here.
Yeah,
that's how we have to live separately because I have dogs and he has cats.
I'm like, oh, Josh has cats. Like he's like even cuter than I thought. I don't know if I'm gonna go down as the only other woman besides Sarah to be like, Josh, aw.
Look, this is Summer. She's 4 months old.
Oh,
and wait, sweet. And here's the best part. Look at her tail. The cat in the hat.
So sweet. For all the listeners, he's showing the most adorable cat ever. What's that one's name?
Summer.
Aw, I love that.
She's so rude.
So do you guys think you'll ever be able to live in the same house?
Yes, I have to get rich.
No.
Yep.
We've decided that.
No, we did not.
I have it in text message and I have it in my note.
I have to get a compound. Bullshit. I have to get a compound for you, Howard.
It's not bullshit. We agreed on this over a year ago that we would all have our own houses.
You, Howard, your sister, and me will have a compound.
Right, which is consistent of multiple houses.
In one compound.
But it was separate houses.
But Sarah's saying she needs a separate house.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But it has to be on the same house. Like on the same plot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're there.
I'm not allowed to go anywhere. You know,
you're allowed to go where the fuck you want. You have infinite freedom. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like when I picked up, I went to Honduras randomly.
Like I literally, what are you gonna do? Date again? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I'm super excited for your podcast. I'm very excited to order your book. I think that's going to be great. I love seeing you online. I so appreciate you reading my message and coming on and doing me this solid because you are in my heart forever and always. And I love you so much. And I'm so excited that you invited me to know Sarah now too. And now I can get to know her and hype her up all over social media. And she has to have someone to watch because she's not watching you. So she might as well watch me.
Right?
So do you know singularly, you got to tell your son this though, because again, I'm trying to push all this stuff that turned me into me, my version. And I always try to tell people, don't do what I did. Do it your way. You can't do this. You would fail. You got to do it your way. And Kurt Cobain used to always say, wanting to be somebody else is a waste of who you already are. But the main thing that I got out of Nirvana from the time I was 10 or 11 They have a song called Radio Friendly Unit Shifter, and it was on In Utero. And there's a bridge at the end of the song. And I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form, but this helped me in the hospital. This helped me in real life. And it explains my ethos in a pretty concise way. But Kurt Cobain said in that song, hate your enemies, save your friends, find your place, speak the truth. And that has helped me a lot more than God. So that's my favorite thing. And that really got me through everything. And you get people in the semantics argument that will try to tell you to not hate. And I think in this era of white supremacy and fascism and Nazism, I think it's okay to hate those things. So
yeah.
In my brain, the whole hate your enemies, save your friends, find your place, speak the truth is the most important thing written for modern times. So I hope that resonates from this.
I love it so much. Well, thank you, Joshua, ex-MLB agent, and Sarah Ann. Thank you so much for being on and sharing all the things and where you came from and what's gotten you through. And we appreciate you. I love your content. And Sarah, I look forward to seeing more of you on my FYP. Every time I comment, hopefully that'll pull you over and I'll be happy to share and repost your shit. So just keep posting.
So wait, I was going to offer you something before we log off. Like,
yeah,
I have jokes. Do you want a joke before I leave?
Of course. God. Sarah.
Is it going to be a funny one, or is it going to be like one of the ones you tell me and Melissa?
They don't like my comedy. Turns out there's millions of people that do. So their voice doesn't matter right now. So we can mute her. But I'll give you the audience choice here. We have my favorite joke ever, which I put on TikTok the other day, which had 100,000 views, which is a street joke, which Sarah already knows this joke. It's an old joke. It's like the Aristocrats, where there's like a different telling, and it's depending on the comedian, the joke's in the telling. Like it's a Paul Mooney joke. Give that one, which is the best. Or you just have regular jokes about politics, which I could totally give you. It's up to you.
B.
Performative, or do you want current politics?
Actually A then, if it's performative. I'm here for performative.
All right. We're doing performative. And remember, kids, I'm Jewish. You can't tell this joke. Okay. Sarah already knows where this is going, so we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, my Uncle Marty.
Yeah, he loved it. Here we go.
He said it to me first.
Yeah, mine's better. Here we go. Jewish guy wins the lottery, wins $100 million. He throws a party for his family. At the party, tells his family, I won the lottery. I won $100 million. It does not mean anything to me if I can't share it with you guys. So I made the decision. I'm giving my family half of the money. The family is ecstatic. They're like, oh my God, what a good Jewish boy you are. We can't thank you enough, but we have to ask you something. What are you going to do with your half of the money? And the guy looks at his family. He's like, I spoke to God. I did a lot of soul searching. And I came to the conclusion that I'm going to give my $50 million to the Nazis. And the family is shocked and they're pissed off and they're hurt. And they look at the guy and they're like, you're Jewish. Why would you ever give $50 million to the Nazis? The guy then stands up in front of his entire family. He rolls up his left sleeve. He points at his forearm. He tells his family, I had to. They gave me the numbers.
I'm not laughing. Oh my word.
I've done this before.
That is...
It's the best joke ever. It's the best joke ever told on this show.
It's definitely the best joke ever told on this show for 100%. 1,000%.
That's all I was going for.
I will say, I have seen someone with numbers on their arms. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I'm Jewish.
Yeah, like
That's a real horrible thing from the Holocaust.
Yeah, and it was our friend's mom, and she was in a suite with us at a Florida Panthers game.
I've told that joke to a Holocaust survivor.
Did they laugh?
They were like, "Wouldn't that be great?"
That would be actually pretty amazing.
That was the reaction I got. I was like, I wouldn't give the money to the Nazis, but winning the lottery, I'm like, oh shit.
That would be good to win the lottery from.
We're putting too much thought into this joke at this point. Here, I need a palate cleanser. Do you want the right wing joke?
Sure.
This is one of my favorites. So I was watching Tucker Carlson like the week he got fired from Fox News, and the night he got fired, he did a story in the beginning of the episode where he said that Germany's decision to import Russian fuel and gasoline during the conflict in Ukraine was Germany's worst domestic policy decision for their country in the last 100 years. I'm Jewish. No, it fucking isn't. Russian gas isn't even the worst gas Germany's used in the last 100 years. I can see why Tucker got fired.
Joshua Kusnick, everybody.
Joshua Kusnick, ex-MLB agent.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, you think you're funny? You think you're a comedian?" I didn't say that. You guys made me. I was telling these jokes when there were no people, and now there's 75 million views, and I'm still telling them. And I ascribe all of this blame because it's important to assign blame on the audience.
It's definitely the audience. It's definitely Sarah and I's fault right now.
What? I don't do anything.
I mean, do you know how scary she is? She'll like whisper in my ear. She's like, "Listen, Josh, I don't condone domestic violence, but I understand it." Like, why are you threatening me?
She's like, "Oh, I know where you sleep at night. One eye open, Josh. One eye
yeah,
open."
Oh, yeah. DV jokes are so funny.
Oh, my. Well, we know what's his name got canceled for that shit. What the hell is his name?
I am uncancelable. I feel like that.
No, I believe you're uncancelable.
Like, what could anyone... I don't work for anybody. I had my career. I already made it. And now I'm on the back nine. And it's frustrating to people that they can't find something to punish me with or take away from me. And it's just like, or you could just let me live my life and leave me alone. That would be the great part.
I think the only way, like, as I sit here and think about it, is probably domestic violence, anti-women, which it's not in your veins. I don't,
I got punched in the face by my ex-wife, and she went to jail for DV. And I don't mean to make light of it, but I do because it's my own life. But do you know what it takes in the state of Florida for a woman to get arrested for hitting me? Like, the cops were like, "Here's a white girl, and here's Josh Kusnick looking homeless. She's going to jail." Like, that's how bad it was.
Well, I mean, like, that's you've got the special sauce.
Everyone's like, "What did you say to the cops?" I'm like, "What did I say?" Well, they interviewed her first because she was the woman, and she lied completely and said nothing happened. And then when the cops came into my house, they're like, "What happened?" I broke down crying, and they're like, "Oh, he's the victim." I'm like, and my marriage ended that day. What a good day.
Hey, and now we have Sarah.
We do.
Thank God.
Whose sister has the same name as my ex-wife.
Get out.
Swear.
Can't make that shit up.
No.
Well, I appreciate you too. You're the best. I'm excited for your podcast. I hope it blows up. Keep doing you.
Hopefully this episode doesn't fly 2 planes into your career. Ooh,
please.
I made my 9/11 joke. I'm happy.
I love it. I love it. Thanks, guys, for being here. I appreciate you so much, Josh.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to my DM. It's all the truth. It's all real. You're in my heart forever and ever. I think you're the best. Sarah, you're the best. I'll see you guys. Thanks, everybody, for listening to TikTok Famous, and I'll see you here, guys, next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the TikTok Famous podcast with Meredith Willits. If you're loving the unfiltered stories and behind-the-scenes truths, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show. Until next time, let's get famous.